Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jody Cordell, the Savvy Agent with Spence Properties here in Crestview, Florida. And you may be thinking to yourself, why is she going live? Well, it's a very interesting story. Actually, it's not really all that interesting. I had a whole video that I shot yesterday that didn't quite work out, so here I am live for you today. So today we're going to talk about 7 tips that I like to think about whenever I am moving from one state to another. These are my top 7 tips for moving to another state. And as a former military spouse, obviously we've moved quite a bit and we've made some mistakes along the way and we've learned a lot of things along the way as well. And so I want to share some of those cool things with you today. So I hope that you get a little bit out of this. I know moving from one state to another can be a little bit overwhelming, but I mean, the cool thing is you can actually really learn from a lot of other people's mistakes, not just mine. So let's talk about my favorite tips for moving right now. All right. Tip number 1, create a parts box. Now, putting all the hardware in one box from all the furniture that you have to take apart when the movers come is a really, really smart thing. And one thing you want to do probably is put all the hardware and any little tools like Allen wrenches and stuff into a Ziploc bag and then label it with a Sharpie pen and then throw all of those into one box. I will say one word of caution, take that parts box with you if you have the option to. When we moved to Germany, we had the movers come and they made a parts box for us. And we thought, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. That's so cool. And then when we got to Germany and all of our household goods arrived, we didn't have our eyes on the parts box and it got lost and we couldn't find it. And we had all this furniture all taken apart all over the house, and the movers ended up having to leave without putting all of our furniture back together because they never found the parts box. I literally thought I was going to cry. I was sitting there just beside myself thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to have to buy all new stuff because we don't have any hardware to put all of our furniture back together. And it was literally devastating. We eventually did find the box. It was piled under like a big stack of boxes in the upstairs bedroom. Who knows if it almost seemed like they did it on purpose so that they wouldn't have to put all of our furniture together. So yeah, it was kind of shady, but guess what? We've never lost another parts box since then. So we make sure that we keep our eyes on it the whole time. It should be the last thing loaded on and the first thing unloaded. So when that happens, make sure you keep your eyes on it so you know exactly where it's at. And don't let that happen to you, what happened to us in Germany. It was really, really devastating. So, and if you have the option, if you're moving state to state, you're staying within the, inside the United States, take that box with you. So you already know where it's at and you actually have access to it when you need it. So that is number 1. Number 2, plan early. If you know that you're moving, there are so many businesses right now that are still dealing with all the COVID restrictions, and there was a lot of business that they had to space out because of COVID last year. So they're still like really backed up. So you calling them sooner rather than later is going to really help you because they actually have a lot of things scheduled out several months right now because they're so far behind. And that's not just moving companies. It's anything that pertains to a PCS move or a regular move. So make sure that as soon as you know that you're going to be moving, that you get in touch with people right away and start planning that move early. Tip number 3, temporary storage. Oh my gosh, have you guys heard about pods yet? Listen, if you're going to be selling a home where you currently live and then moving into another home where you're going, temporary storage is going to become your very best friend. If you haven't heard of pods, well, you've got to look into them. They bring an actual storage unit to your home and set it out in your driveway. And then you get to load it up with all the stuff that you need to take out of your house. And when you are preparing your home for selling it, you're going to want to do this. And trust me, your realtor is going to come through and be like, take that out, take that out, take this out, take that out. That's just what we do, right? So we want to pare everything down so that we can stage the home so that it sells easily and quickly and for top dollars. So having that little storage pod there where you can put a whole lot of the things that you don't need in your house, just put that stuff into the storage, and then the pod people come and pick up the pod, and then they put it in a temporary storage location until you're ready to have it delivered to the other location. So pods are awesome. So look into doing those. You're going to absolutely love it. And clearing out all that extra stuff ahead of time is really going to help you when you start hiring movers to move the big stuff, which brings me to my next tip. Number 4, have a yard sale before you move. Ugh, I'm telling you what, stop moving stuff just because you're too lazy to get rid of it before you actually move. And I'm saying this to me as well as I am to you because I'm notorious for doing this. I have actually moved the same stuff at least 3 times without taking it out of the boxes. It's still sitting in my garage. And I swear we've moved the same boxes like 3 times in the past, less than 10 years? It's just sitting out there. I've been meaning to get rid of it for about 10 years now. And I'm just being lazy about it. So I need to take my own advice. And before I decide to move again, I need to have that yard sale before we move. Take all the stuff that you want to donate, take all that stuff away, take things to the churches and let them put it in their thrift stores, have a yard sale, put it on, the Facebook yard sale pages and stuff. Everybody's got one. So just list things and get them out of your house before you move. Most moving companies actually charge you by weight. So if you're moving stuff that you don't really want to keep, now you're just paying extra money that you don't need to be spending. Don't do it. Tip number 5, vet your moving company before you hire them. All right, now listen, this is extremely important. Have you ever heard the saying before, you get what you pay for? Well, this is definitely one of those times to shop on other things other than price alone. Don't just shop on price. One of my coaches was telling a story recently how she got estimates from several different moving companies before she moved. And then one came in a lot cheaper than all the other ones. So she decided to go with that one. And when she was letting the other companies know, they told her, listen, before you do that, before you commit to that company, do yourself a favor and check out the online reviews. Just check Better Business Bureau and just, ask around. And she didn't take that advice at all. She could have just, asked around or just read some of the reviews and would have discovered some things. Because what happened was they came and picked up her stuff. They were totally on time. But when it came time to actually deliver the stuff to her new home, they told her that the truck wasn't filled. So they couldn't deliver her stuff until they had a full truck. So they were going to wait until the whole truck was filled before they got her stuff. It took like 2 weeks. And they had only packed stuff in suitcases for 2 nights in a hotel. And so they were sitting in a completely empty house for 2 weeks. Y'all, that's lots. That's a long time. So they ended up having to go to the Walmart and the Target and buy blow-up beds, towels, shower curtains, plastic plates and utensils and solo cups and pretty much everything. They had nothing. They were sitting on the floor. So that ended up costing them quite a bit of money for stuff that they were only going to use until their stuff arrived. So it was a complete waste of money. She probably didn't save a single penny because everything that she spent on all that stuff she ended up having to buy at Walmart could have just all been rolled into the amount she would have paid any of those other moving companies to get her stuff delivered when it was supposed to. So make sure that you read online reviews and just do a little bit of research. And if you know somebody that's recently moved, ask them for a recommendation. That is a great place to start. Tip number 6, turn on your utilities before you move. Now, okay, so this one should be a given, right? And if you have a good realtor, they'll probably let you know that you probably need to do this and probably give you the list of all of the utility companies. But it's easy to get wrapped up in all the stuff that's going on when you're doing a cross country or state to state move. So just let me tell you, it's a pain in the rear if you forget to do this because it can take several days to get your utilities turned on if you forget to do it. And also, if it's anything like here on the Emerald Coast, Some of the utility companies require certain types of documentation, so you want to make sure that you're prepared. So if you reach out like the week before you're supposed to move, just make sure you schedule it on your calendar to contact the utility companies and make sure all that stuff is set up. Schedule it for the day of closing, and then that way you won't have to worry about it when you actually arrive. Tip number 7, allow a few days if you're selling your home. Same day closings don't always happen like you plan. They just don't. A lot of people try to do this, close on the same day, but so many things can go wrong. So it's way better, and you're going to thank me if you do it this way. Just give yourself a few days in between closing on your existing house and closing on your new house. Because think about it this way. Imagine you're in your old location, you sign your closing documents that morning, and then you have to pile everybody in the car and drive for 6 hours to your new location and get there in time to sign by 5 o'clock. Yeah, that doesn't always work out. So, think about, what if there was an accident on the highway and then you got stuck and you missed your closing? Or worse, what if some weather happened that you have no control over and you end up like missing your deadline by a day because you got delayed because of weather? So many things can go wrong. So if you just close on your old house, arrive in your new destination and stay in a hotel for a day or two, and then schedule your closing in the morning on the third day, and then take that day to settle in, it's going to give you so much more, it's going to be less stressful. You'll have less anxiety. It's just so many headaches that you're going to be able to avoid. So definitely make sure that you give yourself some breathing room, is what I like to call it. So bottom line is just allow for things to go wrong, because something probably will. It's just life, right? That's just how it works. So the secret is just be flexible, try to go with the flow, and just give yourself a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra breathing room, just to kind of, chill and make the move itself as smooth as possible. But yeah, that's my top 7 tips for doing a state-to-state move. I hope that you take these tips to heart on your next out-of-state move. And if you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you have questions about real estate or, real estate or moving, PCSing in general, drop me any of those kind of questions in the comment section below. Now, if you are planning on moving to the Emerald Coast, I do have a special gift for you. Let me just show you right here. Look at that. What? You can grab this. This is my free relocation guide. You can just click the link in the description underneath this video. And then, of course, again, if you have any other questions about moving to the Emerald Coast or PCSing, there's several different videos here on my channel that you can check out, but you can also just drop me a comment right here, and I will read that and respond to you. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Again, my name is Jody Cordell. I am the Savvy Agent from Spence Properties here in Crestview, Florida, and I will see you on the next video.